Alright, and I just wanted to make a quick response video to someone that made a comment, Gus Martin too. So it was about the supplement testing. And supplement testing would be easy if all you did was take it and then say write down your experience or how it made you feel that day. That would be an easy way of doing it. But the university researchers, they don't do that, of course. That wouldn't make any sense. Because some days you feel good, some days you feel a little weaker, and you wouldn't tell if it was the supplement or not. So the supplement studies are actually very well designed, totally controlled. They're double blind, which means that the person taking the supplement doesn't know if they're taking a placebo or a supplement. And even the researchers, they don't know if they're giving you the placebo or the supplement. So that won't influence like how hard they push you or things they say to you or if they're trying to see something. So it's totally ethical and legit. And they have long studies, like 12 weeks. It's totally controlled, and that the workout is totally controlled. How many reps you do, how many sets you do, how long you rest when you work out, what exercises you do. And you're also told not to do anything else. So you can't be doing any other exercise. You can't play basketball. You can't work out on your own. You don't do any cardio. You just do exactly what they say and nothing else. And then the diet is also controlled. I know you said some people could just eat like a pig and that would change, whether you lose weight or not. So you write down everything that you eat, gets put into a database, so it tracks all of the nutrients, all of the calories for the day. They have a nutritionist speak with you before the study begins, give you an idea of what you should eat, what's healthy. And you don't take any other supplements at all. They blood test you, do urinalysis about 7 times over 12 weeks, a comprehensive blood test and urinalysis. And and that they only take certain individuals. They won't take untrained people. If someone's untrained and then you put them on a 12-week training program, their strength would skyrocket, they'd build muscle, their body composition would change. So they don't take people like that. You have to be intermediate or an advanced lifter. They test your strength before you begin the study. So there's 2 weeks of testing, and they'll test out your maximum strength at the squat, the bench press, and the deadlift for 2 weeks. So they do it twice, just in case one time it was a fluke, they do it twice. So they get your true 1 rep maximum, pushing as hard as you can, pushing harder than you've ever pushed before. They push you over the limit. You keep squatting until you reach failure. You keep bench pressing until you hit the most possible weight you could ever do at that moment. And then they test you again every month to recalibrate the percents that you're going to do during the training program. So, and for the strength standards, they're looking for about 1.5 times your body weight in a bench and 2 times your body weight on a squat and a deadlift, approximately. It's not exactly that. And they want the same age group, males, about this age, just a few years different. So they take very similar subjects, almost identical. That's as close as they can get. And in animal research, they just clone rats. They can't clone people, or they don't do it, at least for the university studies for supplements. They just take people that are similar and commit to a 12-week training program to do exactly what they say and nothing else. And so then over the program, they'll be testing the effects, doing all these blood tests to see what the supplement is doing. They don't know what it is until afterwards, after the 12 weeks. And they can analyze all the data to try to see if it affected their strength, their power, their sustained sprinting power, peak power, vertical jump, body composition, weight, and so then they can see if there was any difference. So what I noticed when I did one of the studies was my deadlift went up by 10 pounds. So it went from 500 to 510. I thought that was the best thing that I noticed. I gained like a millimeter of muscle, which is a lot actually, and that was measured with sonogram, ultrasound. So it was actual true thickness measure of muscle. It's not like they just put tape around your arm and they say it got bigger, you know. They use ultrasound to measure the muscle fibers, and I actually do it on the quads because it's a much bigger muscle. We'd mark the same site so it's consistent. We'd mark it every day. So you wouldn't be doing a different site, same site. And yeah, so I noticed an increase in muscle fiber thickness, just a little bit, which is a lot. That's really good. And my strength went up on everything: squat, bench press, deadlift. Bench wasn't a new personal record, but the squat, I got a new personal record. The deadlift, I got a new personal record. So with the deadlift, it went from 500 to 510, which is like a 2% increase, which is really good over 12 weeks. You know, if you think about it, think how hard you'd have to work if you're an intermediate or an advanced weightlifter to increase your deadlift by 2%. It doesn't sound like a lot, and it's not really a lot, but 10 pounds is really good if you're going for a new max. And was it the supplement? I would say it's more the training program, but the way they tell if it was the supplement or not is comparing it to what other people have done. So if someone was taking the supplement and they put 20 pounds on their deadlift, and someone not taking it put 10 pounds on their deadlift, that's how they can see an actual difference. So everything was controlled so that the only difference should be accounted by the supplement, because that should be the only thing that the subjects are doing differently. You don't want to have highly trained athletes, untrained people. You want to have everyone be pretty much the same, so that the only difference should be accounted for by the supplement. That's it. So, and at best, you're going to see a very small benefit in the supplement, which is really good, but that's the best you can do. If a supplement gave you a great benefit, it would be banned. It would be a performance-enhancing drug. Even caffeine is banned in the Olympics. You can have a little bit, but you can't drink a lot. And with the creatine, you said something about creatine. Yeah, creatine has been proven to work. And the way that it works is that it increases your muscle water retention, which is a good thing because your muscles are 70% water, 20% protein, and 10% fat. So if you can increase the muscle water retention, it's going to increase their size and their recovery. And the way it was tested to work was that with sprinters, you get them head-to-head, they sprint, they're both the same. The person taking creatine will not run faster than the person not taking creatine. But they would do this test over and over. So you'd sprint, you'd catch your breath, you'd sprint, catch your breath, and then by about the 10th sprint, the person taking creatine would start to win. They would be able to sustain a little bit more speed. So that's where it benefited them, which I think would be from the increase in water retention. Because water is the key to performance. It's the most important thing you can put in your body, and it's often overlooked. So water is more important and beneficial to you than food or any supplement you could take. Water. You want to be fully hydrated. So that's why we use scales that measure your hydration level. And we did a dehydration test. And the way you'd set up for that is you'd first have a preliminary test of subjects. You'd find out what's normal, like hydration level. You'd find out how much water someone has to drink to be fully hydrated. And then we'd calculate about 0.65 times your body weight in water every day to get fully hydrated. So a 200-pound person, that's about a gallon of water, 128 ounces. You drink that every day for about 3 days. You keep your caffeine level the same. You wouldn't want to stop it if you were drinking coffee. You wouldn't want to start drinking coffee if you weren't drinking it before. So now the hydration level is full. Then you'd go into the dehydration test. And for the dehydration test, we would just measure in a sauna, a dry sauna, exercise bike. We'd take our weight before, then we'd ride at the same speed for the same length of time, same cadence. You'd just be on a cadence. And then weigh yourself afterwards. So we found about between 10 and 15 pounds weight loss in 1 hour without even pushing yourself that hard. You could lose 10 to 15 pounds in an hour. and we measure how that would affect someone's performance. And what we found at the end of the study, there's preliminary studies, there's actual studies, there's post studies to see if you can replicate the results. The end of the study shown about a 10% decrease in performance for every 2% you were dehydrated. So think about that. Your body's mostly water, and if you get dehydrated by 2%, you're going to decrease about 10% of your maximum performance. You'd only notice this if you were pushing yourself to your limit. If you're dehydrated and you're working out but you're not pushing yourself hard, you won't notice it. So you're only going to notice these things when you're pushing yourself to the limit. And then you'd notice a 10% decrease, which is huge. That's why dehydration affects marathoners and Ironmen so much, or any athlete really, football players. You don't want to get dehydrated. And trying to think if you mentioned anything else. What was it? Yeah, but for the supplements, it's mostly caffeine in a weight loss supplement. That's the proven ingredient. Everything else is just for show. It's just marketing. They might say something like, oh, we put in theobromine or this, and they make up names for the ingredient. It'll be a trademark name, like Thermoglow or something weird like that, and it's just a misrepresentation. It's kind of like a distraction. They don't want to say caffeine, but they have to. So if you look at one of these ads, it's going to say, this is like the magic ingredient, new and improved formula. But the actual ingredient, it'll just say caffeine anhydrous. That was the actual effective ingredient. But they can't market caffeine because it's so cheap. You could buy instant coffee like I do. I just drink instant coffee every morning. It's cheaper and just as effective as a hydroxycut, and pills just nasty anyways. It's kind of hard to digest the pill. I'd rather drink something, coffee, that tastes good. And all the other ingredients I put in there anyways, like cinnamon, coconut oil, sugar. There might be some other stuff that I put in there too. You can just add all the ingredients to get all of these minerals, vitamins that you'd get from a pre-workout. And then you don't have to get anything else that you don't want. So then you won't risk getting banned substances or any chemicals that you don't want in your body. It's cheaper, it tastes better, it's easier to get. So that's the way I would go about taking a pre-workout drink. And so I think that just about covers it. So with the research, it's not easy to do research on supplements. If you think about how hard it is to find a very select group of individuals and get them to do exactly what you want for 12 weeks and get them to write down everything they eat, and imagine how hard that would be. And then what they're looking for is just the difference between these people, so that the only difference should be accounted for by the supplement. And if there's going to be a difference, it'll be very slight. But that's what they're looking for, so that's the science behind it. Now the science will then get misrepresented by a supplement company, where they'll take the person that did the best, they'll say this person lost 27 pounds in 12 weeks, where the average weight loss might have been 14 pounds, which is still good. But then again, that 27-pound weight loss, it was from calorie restriction and it was from exercise. So it wasn't really from the supplement they were taking, not so much. It was more from the calorie restriction and the exercise. Now the supplement helped a little bit, but then again on the advertisement you'll see that the active ingredient was just caffeine anhydrous. So why would you spend so much money on a supplement if caffeine anhydrous was the effective ingredient? And most of the weight loss was accounted for by calorie restriction and exercise. So that's kind of a misrepresentation. They're not lying, actually. They're just misrepresenting the data. So I think that about covers it, and thanks for your questions.